Dust rolled across the prairie like smoke from a dying fire. In the dusty town of Cross Hollow, Justice wore a shiny badge and a 10-gallon hat. Sheriff Buford Stanton had ruled the town like a cattle king, wielding law and money in equal measure. No one questioned him until his joke went too far. "I'll give her to Y.A. Elijah," Sheriff Stanton said with a half-drunken sneer, slapping the shoulder of the rancher standing before him. "My daughter. Can't walk, won't talk to no one. Worthless as a two-legged mule. You want a woman so bad? Take her." Elijah Hart stared at the man, jaw clenched. He wasn't a man who begged, and he sure wasn't looking for pity. He'd come to Cross Hollow to start over after losing everything: his cattle, his brother, and nearly his life. He didn't ask for a woman, let alone one given as a cruel joke. "I ain't taking her as charity," Elijah growled. "Then take her as your wife," Buford chuckled bitterly. "Hell, she'll die a spinster otherwise. Least she can rot in your shack rather than mine." No one dared to protest. 2 days later, Elijah found himself returning to his small ranch house with a woman who didn't speak and couldn't walk. Her name was Clara, and she had eyes like storm clouds and the expression of someone who'd stopped dreaming long ago. Chapter 2. The Silent Room. The first weeks were hard. Clara didn't speak. She didn't meet Elijah's eyes. She sat in a worn chair by the window all day, staring at the field he plowed alone. Elijah brought her food, helped her move when needed, and gave her space. No chains, no threats, just quiet respect. But one morning, he saw it. She was sketching. Charcoal on scrap paper, moving only her upper body. She etched wildflowers, horses, and faces, each line filled with longing and fire. She didn't know he saw, but Elijah felt something stir. One evening, he placed a fresh set of charcoal pencils on the table without a word. She glanced up. Their eyes met. It was the first time he saw a spark behind the storm. Chapter 3. Whispers in the Dark. Elijah had never been one for words, but silence between them wasn't empty. It was waiting. A month passed. Elijah adapted the porch with a ramp. He built a small easel from scrap wood and placed it by the window. Every day, Clara drew, and every day Elijah tended the land. Nights were still, but less lonely. Then, one thunderstorm night, as wind howled outside, Clara spoke for the first time. "I'm not broken," she said. Elijah froze by the fire, his coffee halfway to his lips. "I know," he said softly. She looked toward him. "He used to lock me in the attic when I cried after the accident. Said I was cursed. Said no man would ever want me." Elijah walked to her slowly. He was wrong. About all of it. Her lip trembled. "Why are you kind to me?" Elijah knelt beside her. "Because you're not a burden, Clara. You're a woman. One who survived. One who's stronger than you know." Chapter 4. The Wheel Turns. Word spread in town. Some mocked Elijah for taking in the sheriff's broken girl. Others whispered admiration. But none of that mattered to Elijah or Clara. Elijah built a pulley harness so Clara could work in the garden from her chair. She began humming as she sketched. She painted his barn doors with wild stallions. She laughed once, just once, and Elijah felt like he'd struck gold. Then came danger. The Black River gang rolled into Cross Hollow like a rattlesnake through tall grass. Wanted men, guns for hire. They robbed the mercantile, shot the bank clerk, and warned that anyone who resisted would be next. Sheriff Buford? He locked himself inside his mansion and sent no deputies. Cross Hollow was leaderless, until Elijah rode into town. Chapter 5. Gunpowder and Blood. "You can't stand alone," said Tom Briggs, the storekeeper. "There's 6 of 'em, armed and mean." "I've seen worse," Elijah muttered. He had scars across his back from the war, and more from life. Clara begged him not to go. "They'll kill you. You can't fight them alone." "I ain't fighting alone," he said, staring into her eyes. I'm fighting for something. That night, Elijah set traps along the road into town, gathered every man brave enough to hold a rifle, and waited. The Black River Gang came at dawn. A bullet tore Elijah's shoulder open. He fell behind a wagon. Blood soaked his shirt. But just when he thought it was over, asterisk, bang dot asterisk, the sound of a shotgun. Clara, from a wagon chair, she fired from behind the general store, shotgun brace across the armrest, fury in her eyes. "Don't you touch him," she screamed. It gave Elijah enough time to rise, gun blazing. By sunset, the Black River Gang was no more. Chapter 6, Redemption in Bloom. Sheriff Buford was humiliated. His daughter had done what he hadn't. Stood up, defended the town, saved lives. And she had done it in a wheelchair. Clara refused to see him. "I may forgive one day," she told Elijah. "But not today." Elijah understood. Their bond deepened after the gunfight. Clara began teaching local children how to draw. Elijah expanded the ranch. He adapted the entire house for her freedom. They worked together. He with cattle, she with color. She wasn't just alive now. She was living. One cool spring morning, Elijah knelt by the flower bed she had planted and held out a simple silver ring. "You ain't here because I needed a wife," he said. "You're here because I needed you. Will you stay? For good?" Clara took his face in her hands, eyes soft with tears. "Yes, and not because I need saving, but because I choose you, Elijah Hart." Chapter 7, Strength Unseen. Years passed. Clara became a legend, not because of her chair, but because of her spirit. She painted murals across the county. Children adored her. Women looked up to her. And men who once pitied her now respected her deeply. And Elijah, he healed, not just in body, but in soul. The broken man who'd wandered into Cross Hollow found something rare, a woman who saw him as more than scars, just as he saw her as more than her legs. And every time they looked at one another, they remembered, love isn't about perfection. It's about standing by each other, even when the world laughs, even when the odds say no. Because sometimes, in the wildest lands and darkest moments, the strongest hearts bloom where no one thought they could.